Why, hello there, everyone. Hello.
How
Welcome.
are you all this 30 years since Sleepaway Camp came out? 30 years. Can you believe it? It's almost like a 40-year-old who keeps confusing 10 years. There's always 10 years off, as they say when you get to that age, wrote that. I made a mistake in the video today, and I was just like, it's like such an obvious one. But when you get to this age, that's what they say. You're always off by 10 years. You're always off by like a decade when you're looking back and say, oh, yeah, the 80s. That was 30 years ago. Nope, it's 40.
It
40.
sure was. I'm sorry, Doug. I'm sorry to break that news to you.
I don't know. It's kind of cool. I'm not going to lie. Whenever I hear that, it's like, no, it's actually 10 more years. I'm like, cool. It's like ancient history. I'm like a relic. I dig that.
The way you just said the cool. Yeah, I didn't take any psychic damage from that. Fun
Not at
fact.
all.
Yeah.
I should point out, by the way, on this shirt, it's too weird to live, too rare to die. Because I get the feeling everybody looks at that shirt and it's just like, "Oh, gee, are you okay, Doug?" It's like, no. It's a line. It's a line from Fear Loathing.
Yeah. But yeah, I see we already have a level 4 hype train over on Twitch. I see the super chats are just pouring in over here on YouTube too. So I'm gonna get to the rules so that we can get to these questions. First and foremost, here we give priority to the bit messages and the super chats, since that is some real world money spent. Towards the end of stream, sometimes we have a chance to go back and look at highlighted messages on Twitch or regular chat questions on YouTube, but we can't guarantee that we're going to get there. Also, on the YouTube side of things, we prioritize super chats that are $5 and over. We will still thank people for ones over or under, rather, under $5, but we may not
I'll
read
take the ones over too.
Yes, of course. But we may not read the question until after we get all the rest of them. We just have such a high volume of questions, and it's the best way to be able to get through the questions and then still hopefully have time to answer questions that aren't paid. I swear, y'all, we want that. We want you to not have to pay for questions.
Trying to get there.
We're trying. Please watch the length of your questions. The longer it is, the faster I have to read it, the more likely it is that we are going to miss something and we do not have time to repeat it. That does apply also to part messages. If you absolutely must break up your question or comment into multiple sections, please limit it to 3 maximum at the absolute max. Again, the same kind of thing happens. Also, please keep it to 1 question per bit message or super chat. If you put like 4 or 5 in there or something crazy, I reserve the right to just pick one, and it's too bad, so sad. I also reserve the right to like just squish or edit your question to make it easier to understand, whatever, okay? Please do not repeat yourself over and over again in chat. You can get timed out or even banned if you're going to continuously do that. We just don't want to see you spam or monopolize the chat, please. On a similar note, on YouTube specifically, I see this happen more often. You don't need to repeat your super chat, even if it unpins. You don't need to give us that money again. I have a list. It is very rare that we actually miss something from the list, but just be aware you don't have to repeat. I feel bad if people feel like they have to repeat their bits or their super chats. You don't have to. It's good. We got it. It's a list. We can get up to an hour behind, so just have some patience, okay? Please, no spoilers. Not everyone has had a chance to see the latest and greatest movies or TV shows out there. This is still a spoiler-free zone for Agatha all along, so, I know there was a big reveal last week. I watched it. I know.
Ooh,
I get
okay.
it, but shh.
I barely watched any of it, so it's not going to do. I mean, I'll catch it. I will. I've heard enough things about them. I'm like, okay, I'll keep watching it.
Yeah. And I think that's it.
We good?
I think we're good. All right, let's get to some of these questions then. Here
Let's
we
do
go.
it.
Brian, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen all 12 of the Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared videos? How about all the Salad Fingers episodes? Would you be willing to review them?
I don't know if I could add much to a review. I didn't know that's how. I thought it was like. I mean, I guess that is a series, but I thought there was more to them. Now that I know, I mean, 12 isn't few, but that there's only 12, maybe I will. Maybe I will watch them all. For some reason, I thought it was like a whole series, like several seasons and stuff. I guess I got the wrong idea.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. So here's a joke I came up with. See what you think. You have some nerve coming in here. Thank you for acknowledging my courage.
Oh, that's not bad. I could see that in something. I could see that in like I don't know, World of Gumball or something like that, or Futurama. I could see that joke working.
Jimmy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on Jennifer Lopez as an actress? I've heard some people say she should have done movies instead of singing.
She did. She started off as an actress. With that said, fine. It is one of those where it's definitely the complete package. You know what I mean? Like you definitely. There's some actors like that where you watch them and it's like, yeah, they're good, but part of the charm is that they're good looking. Some have worked beyond that. Like Tom Cruise got beyond that. I think all of the Twilight cast has worked beyond that finally, which is really nice. But I feel like she never quite got that movie, and she got too into her pop career, which she can do. That's fine. But yeah, it is something where it's like she was good. I never thought she was anything great, but she's fun to watch. I really like her in was it Out of Sight? I thought she was really cool.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Great review today, Doug. Could we please have a clue for next week's Nostalgia-ween video?
It's very hollow.
Very hollow. Okay. Brady Wells, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are your thoughts on the B movie video game?
Well, as someone that's known for just playing tons and tons of video games, I mean, just for the past like several decades, I mean, just really being on top of just video games and everything that's come out. You'll be shocked to know I haven't played it. But if I did, I'd give it a B. Because B.
That would be a perfect place for you to freeze. Can you imagine if you froze laughing with your tongue out like that? That would have been beautiful, actually.
That would be great.
Alex the Animator, thank you for the 500 bits. Where is Tamara Chambers? Why hasn't she been in any Nostalgia Critic reviews lately? Is she still part of Channel Awesome?
we leave her little sword over there for Tiny Tam. Always remember Tiny Tam. No, she wanted to branch out and do like more acting and stuff like that. So she kind of said, I don't need a goodbye video or anything because I'm still around. Just if you need me, give me a call to do like Hyper or something like that. So we respect that. And again, it's not like she's gone or anything. Yeah. She's just trying, other performances and stuff like that. So yeah, if I need her for like Hyper or Anti-Despair or something like that, we'll definitely bring her back.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on the film Zodiac? It might be the only film to make the voice actor for Roger Rabbit terrifying.
I haven't seen it. I heard mixed things when it came out, but I hear more and more people talking about it, so I probably should check it out.
Jack, thank you for the €5 super chat. Hey, Doug, did you see the new teaser for the film The Monkey? It's directed by Osgood Perkins and looks better. A dark comedy by the tone of the teaser.
I heard about it. I want to say I saw the teaser for the teaser, if that makes sense. I haven't seen the new one that dropped. I like his movies. Even though I don't know if I fully get them. Every time when I'm done, I'm like, man, I love the atmosphere of that. I'm into it and everything. And then when I get to the end, I'm always like, did I like that? I think I like that. And I think a part of it is I don't always follow it. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It could just be that I'm missing something, but there's so many other things to get into. So, yeah, and there always is kind of that weird element of a little bit of comedy in there too. So I think you'll have a fun time with that.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on the movies Dances with Wolves and Touch of Evil?
Touch of Evil is the Orson Welles one, right? Hold on, just have a Touch of Evil. Charlton Heston, right? Yes. I like Touch of It. I surprisingly don't love it. I thought that'd be one that I really, really got into, like Citizen Kane or Third Man. And yeah, it's good. It's a very good movie, but I don't quite love it. Dances with Wolves, I absolutely love until the last chunk, which is still good. It's a good movie. It's just really, really hammering on the head. For something that's trying to say don't look at something so black and white, they really go die hard the other direction at the end. But you could argue kind of justifiably so. I mean, I get it, but Yeah, it was just so long. If they did a short amount, maybe I'd be okay. But because it just took up so much time at the end, I thought that got a little grating. But everything else about it, I really, really like. I like the acting. I like the pacing. I'm still not the biggest fan of Kevin Costner as an actor, but he was good enough. He was fine. The directing in it was really, really good.
Jared, thank you for the raid. Welcome on in, Raiders.
Thank you.
Tiffio, thank you for that 31-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back. Appreciate that. I haven't seen today's review yet. Do you have any questions for me?
How long ago was the 80s? How many decades? Because I'm not very good answering that.
It's all right, Doug. Sometimes we all make mistakes. Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on the Orson Welles film Touch of Evil?
It's like deja vu. It's good. It's very good. It's not one of my favorites. Maybe I need to watch it again because I do know it's a classic. I can see why, but yeah, it just didn't grab me like a lot of his other films.
Edge, thank you for the 59 NOK through Super Chat. Video game logic, double jumps. It looks like you're flying, but you're actually jumping again in midair?
Yeah, boy, it kind of makes me wonder, when did the double... There must be a video on that when the double jump first started in video games. Is there a history of the double jump? I don't know why I'm really interested in that. Yeah, because just who came up with that idea? Why could you jump twice in midair and not more times or whatever? Yeah, that's who. Yeah, you might have me go down the rabbit hole with that, actually.
Yeah, you are so, I love your face right now. It was like you were struck with an idea. You were like, oh my God, yeah.
Well, it's just always kind of
research that. Yeah.
It's always kind of there in video games. I just kind of took it for granted, but I'm like, wait, yeah, who actually thought of that? Because it's in like every game now.
At Movies, thank you for the 500 bits. If you're looking for a new Halloween movie to watch this month, I strongly recommend the 2023 film Moon Garden. It has great atmosphere and effects. It is currently available to watch for free on Prime.
Moon Garden. Okay. There are some movies I've seen that I'm actually seeing an actual Moon Garden there. How about the film? Okay, yeah, I remember seeing previews for this. It did look interesting. I never did sit down and watch it. Okay, yeah, I'll do that because actually it did look kind of interesting.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's Jim up to? I haven't seen him in months.
Well, he was just in today's Twilight Tober Zone, so check that out. And he's still making props and stuff like that. Him and Walter are working on a project that they're trying to get going that hopefully will start when we get the new studio, which should, man, it's going slow, but we should have it. We should have it by November, man. I'm hoping that's the case. Yeah, so but he's still doing props. He's still around. Hopefully, like I said, when we get should be getting the studio in November, you'll be seeing more of him.
Theatercrat, thank you for the 500 bits. Thoughts on Nathan Lane as an actor? He's my personal favorite. I think he's a great character actor.
Yeah, I like him. I don't want to say he always plays the same role, but maybe he kind of plays a little bit of the same type. But he does have variety. He can do drama very well. I just think with the build and the voice and stuff like that, it's a little easier to do comedy. Eddie is very good at it. But I do like him when he plays kind of the more touching moments and emotional moments too, because I think he can do those pretty well.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Heather. How far are you into Only Murders Season 4, and what do you think so far? I'm still only about 3 episodes in. I got distracted by the Great British Bake Off. Started a new season recently, and I got distracted by that. I'm still really enjoying it. I'm very intrigued to see where they're going, especially with Charles and his mental health, I guess is the best way you could put it without getting too into spoilers. Edge, thank you for the 119 NOK through Super Chat. Have you heard of the cartoon Villainous? It has hell of a boss style drawing. It has Powerpuff Girls, Frankie Foster, and even Harvey Birdman in it. And Markiplier plays a beaver, not the one with the hat.
Yeah, somebody brought this up before. It was one of those shows where I was shocked I never heard of it because it kind of looked like something that was up my alley, and it came out a while ago. Yeah, 2017. So I just completely missed this. Maybe I'll try to check it out. I'm assuming it's on Max. I'll try to check it out at some point.
Majestic Demon, thank you for the 500 bits. Good evening, Sleepaway Doug. Hello, Sleepaway Heather. How would you rank these mute horror villains? Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Art the Clown.
Oh, Art's my favorite. Oh, I love Art the Clown. Absolutely. As soon as I saw there was a little segment on, was it the little preview on Netflix? That's how I first found the movie, and nobody was talking about it yet. And it just is Terrifier, and I think it showed the clown there. And just when it just cuts to him in the diner going like that, I was like, "What is this?" I was just immediately drawn to this character. I mean, it's basically a killer mime. I mean, I know it's not technically a mime, but that's just what I like to call him. And yeah, I absolutely love that character, and I like that movie series a great deal. I guess I like Michael Myers a little bit more, and then Jason Voorhees. They're a little bit more, the typical slasher. That's why something like Art the Clown stands out to me more.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Who do you like more, Siskel or Ebert?
That's right. Probably Ebert because he does write more, and there is a sense that he's trying to be fair with Siskel. I mean, Siskel usually is the one to kind of poke him a little bit more and make like the fat jokes and stuff like that. So there is a part of me that I'm just like, I think Ebert would try to be, civil. I mean, they really didn't like each other, but they would find things that they, did enjoy about the other. And yeah, and like I say, he does just write more. With his critiques. And I bet Siskel could. I was always kind of shocked he kept him so short. I feel like the way he talked about him, he really could have branched out more and wrote a lot more.
Witchy Gmod, thank you for the 200 SEK through Super Chat. No message, just the
Thank you.
Super Chat. Wizard of What, thank you for the $5 Super Chat. Hi, Doug, Wizard here. How much would it take to convince you to play a Pokemon game on Twitch? Pokemon Black and White has an incredible story.
I mean, I'm sure you're right about the stories and everything, but I just because that's like a take turn thing, right?
It is turn-based, yes.
Yeah, I can't stand turn based games. I'm sorry, it's just not my thing.
You're limiting yourself, Doug.
I know, and I don't care. It would just be way too boring. I work hard. I mean, I love this job, but I work hard at it, man. So when I'm playing a game, I want to enjoy it. I don't want, well, okay, now I got to think about what to do. Boom, this happened. Okay, now what do I do? It's the same reason I can't get into like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. It's way too boring for me. I'm sorry. It's just not for me. I get why other people are into it, but it's not for me.
Elite, thank you for the 26-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back. Appreciate that. Hi, Heather and Doug. Hope you both are well. Thank you both in this community for being amazing people to escape this ever-growing chaotic world. I have one question for you, Doug. Have you seen the trailer to the new Disney Plus Christmas short called An Almost Christmas? Looks charming. Has my interest.
Yeah, the one slight concern I have is that director is very good. He always seems to hurt his style when he's with Disney, because that's the guy who did the new Pete's Dragon and the new Peter Pan. And Pete's Dragon is almost good. I think that's pretty close to a good movie. Peter Pan's not that good. But this is a short, and the style is kind of neat. So it is one of those things where I'm like, all right, like could be pretty decent. But it is what what it is. I'd much rather see that guy doing a movie that's not Disney related. So whenever I do see he's doing a Disney film, I'm always thinking, oh, we could have had something not Disney. But at the same time, Disney does have that Disney money, so maybe there's something good that'll come out of it.
Trip, thank you for the $5 super chat. Give us a hint for your Stephen King review.
Oh, you're gonna be disappointed. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, interesting. Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey guys, Doug, what are your thoughts on Barbershop starring Ice Cube?
I liked it. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember enjoying it. I remember getting some good laughs. I like the community they built around it. Yeah, like nothing great, but I enjoyed it.
Edge, thank you for the 59 NOK through Super Chat. Can you review the Dead or Alive movie based on the fighting game and Ninja Gaiden? It's more a fan service game, and Kevin Nash is in it. I didn't even know there was a Dead or Alive movie.
Oh, maybe I knew this. It's an older movie, right? Yeah, like 2006. I do hear it's pretty bad. I don't know much about the video game. That's the thing. Is that
it's a fighting game?
It is okay. So I have played a little bit of that. I think I had a demo for it. It was a fun demo to play, but yeah, I didn't play that much of it, so I'm probably not the person to talk about it.
Too bad, Waluigi time. Thank you for the £5 super chat. In general, which do you think are worse, the Disney direct-to-DVD sequels or the live-action remakes?
Probably the live action remakes because I can point to a few good sequels, surprisingly, that were direct to DVD. Um, where I don't think some come close, but I don't think I like any of the remakes at all.
Excuse me. BR37, thank you for the £5 super chat. Doug, have you seen Mr. Bean's Holiday? It's way better than the first movie and has Willem Dafoe in it. Potential review?
It's one of those where I say yes, though I've never sat down and watched the whole thing. It's always on somewhere, particularly when I'm at like a hotel or something like that. Um, it's all right. It is better than the first one. It's hard to say if it works or not, but it's definitely more in spirit of Mr. Bean in terms of like creating a story where he's going on this little trip and stuff like that. I think that makes more sense than like just keeping him with this family. And even though I like Peter McNichol in that film, that's not. He should be traveling. He should be going to different places. Like that makes sense and different things that he stumbles across. Like I think that adds up more.
Maggie, thank you for the $5 super chat. What would happen if you ever had Stephen King as an NC guest for Nostalgiaween?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, the dude's usually pretty busy. I'd love to chat with him. He always sounds like a really cool person to talk to. Like he seems really, really awesome. I'm sure he'd have a good sense of humor. Well, even in the second It movie, he was making fun of the fact that like he doesn't always do the endings that great. And what a shock that movie didn't have the best ending. But I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Like I said, I think just having a conversation with him would be really, really cool.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think about the scene in Step Brothers when they sank their dad's boat?
I don't even remember it. I'm so sorry. That is one of those movies I know has a following and a lot of people love. I just didn't get into it at all. And I like a fair amount of Will Ferrell movies. I loved Blades of Steel. I loved Talladega Nights. Step Brothers. It was one of the few where I'm like, I'm legit disappointed by this. I thought this was going to be really funny, but everyone seems to love it. Maybe I got to see it again. Maybe it's one of those things where just I wasn't in the right mindset. There is some humor that's like that where I just watch it again. I'm like, oh, now I see why this is supposed to be funny. Norm Macdonald was like that with me. So maybe I'll get the same thing.
Witchy Gmod, thank you for the 100 SEK through Super Chat. If there's a way to censor the gore, will you be able to review the Terrifier movie?
Well, Brad did it. He was able to do the first two movies. We've talked about it. I was kind of toying with the idea of like, is there a way to do it without talking and not showing text, but actually like getting the point across? I don't think there is, but I still like to think like, oh, I wonder. But maybe if there's a way to do all the movies because they're building up that there's going to be a fourth one as well. So yeah, I think I would have to wait for that. I'd have to do something where where I talk about all the movies, like a compilation video, like I did with like Twilight and stuff like that, in the Shrek movies. Maybe that makes sense.
The Wizard of What? Thank you for the $5 super chat. Hi Heather, Wizard here. We all know Doug's favorite movie is Brazil, but what's your favorite movie? I think I'd have to go with Dark Knight. Like I saw that the most in theaters. I'm a huge Batman fan. It was just such a satisfying movie. I love Dark Knight. If I could watch it every day, I would.
Mhm.
Sandheaver, thank you for the £5 super chat. Hi Doug. With Halloween fast approaching, I was wondering if you'd ever heard of the British one-off TV horror drama Ghost Watch from 1992.
I don't think so. Let me see. Ghost Watch. No, I never heard of this. All right, try to check it out.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. If the Lightyear film wanted a different take on the character, then the opening Star Wars like text should have hilariously lied when it said in 1995 Andy got a toy from his favorite movie. Shame.
Yeah, that's clearly the biggest problem with the film.
Juliana, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you ever do a Disney-cember on My Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire and or My Babysitter's a Vampire?
I never heard of either of them. Are they connected? That'd be hilarious if they weren't. They just had two different movies. I'll look them up. Yeah, I've never even heard of them.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Gotta know your thoughts on Ralph Fiennes' role as Eamon Goth. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. In Schindler's List. Spoilers, he's terrifying.
Yeah, no, he plays it very well, and he plays it realistically. Like, I know it's very easy to, I mean, I guess since you have Liam Neeson in there and stuff, yeah, you do show that, like, there were people trying to do good, definitely, on that side. But I think you could have made that guy too cartoonishly evil. But like I don't know, there's such that awful moment where there's all the bodies there and everything, and he's just talking like, what an annoyance, just like, oh, I've just, had all this other work to do, and then they give me this. Oh, I can't believe it. Blah blah blah. Like those moments are kind of the creepiest to me, because it does show, yeah, it's like he's just a busy guy, but he's doing this awful, terrible, just horrendous thing, and there's all this death around him. It's just, oh, my schedule, kind of thing. Like those moments, I think, where he's kind of like the creepiest. I know the other ones of like the showing mercy to the person that he shoots him and stuff like that, but that's a little bit more like traditional bad guy. Like something about the way he acted that scene, I mean, just in front of all that death, was just so disturbing to me.
The Beetle Boy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey all, Doug, thoughts on the Naked Gun trilogy, and if you'll do an NC of it before the fourth comes out next year.
Is it a fourth? Is that what they're doing? Okay, I thought it was like a remake or something, or a reboot. That's weird. I like them. I like them a great deal. I don't think they're like phenomenal movies or anything, and a lot of it does come down to Leslie Nielsen's great acting in them. They get a little less as they go on. I think the first one's the best, but they're all good. They're all funny, and they all have. Well, the third one I think gave that great facepalm meme, the one where the whole audience goes like that. Like, so that's always kind of fun. Yeah, no, they're fun movies.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. While Shrek the Third isn't good, I like the idea of Charming teaming up with all the villains. It's just a bummer they didn't do more with it.
Yeah, when I like that every movie had like a different villain, except that one where it's like it's literally the recycled villains. Like if you want to bring all those villains together, that's fine, but like make a new villain to be like leading the way. It's like, why is having the villain from the second movie interesting? I don't know. That's the same as like connecting Bane to Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul. Ra's sounds so much better. From the Dark Knight trilogy. Like that just doesn't make sense to me. Like just make a new one. Have them do their own thing.
Oi Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. I'm hearing that people are considering Wild Robot to be Best Animated Feature winner. Seems surprising, but does the behind-the-scenes controversy on Inside Out 2 give Wild Robot a chance?
I didn't know there was behind-the-scenes controversy. I missed that. I don't know. Did Inside Out win before? Did they win Best Animated Feature or no?
I don't know.
I feel like they would have. I don't know, because that movie made a lot of money too, and I think it kind of has a lot of things that like Hollywood kind of looks for and everything. So I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd say Inside Out 2, but I could be wrong.
Chad is saying yes, it did win
Okay.
Best Picture. So
okay, they might give it to the Wild Robot, but I'm still gonna think it's Inside Out 2.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. In Step Brothers, what do you think of the scene when the brothers fought and one of them kicked the other off the boat into the ocean?
Again, I don't even remember. I remember the scene with the bunk beds. That might be it. I really don't remember much else about it.
Invader Zim, thank you for the 500 bits. This is part 1. One of my biggest issues with Toy Story 3 was the contrived plot contrivance where Andy puts the toys in the trash bag and calls them junk. To be continued.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't watched that one that much. I watched the first two a lot. I really haven't watched the third one too much.
Edge, thank you for the 59 NOK through Super Chat. Can you talk about one of my favorite villains from Cow and Chicken named Ben Painst, Lance Sackless, Rear Admiral Floyd, Mr. Rumpstein, or the Devil?
These sound like Moe's Tavern calls. Yeah, Rumpstein. Is there a Rumpstein here? I haven't seen the show. I'm sorry. I know what it is. I know like the intro song, but yeah, I don't think I've seen anything of it outside of that.
Sorry about that, Invader Zim. Apparently I misunderstood. They put part 1 in the question, but I guess that didn't mean that it was a multi-part question about Toy Story 3 with them putting the toys in the trash bag. So,
I mean, if there's a part 1, but okay. Yeah, well, you have my answer then.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. I've been watching Batman Forever from the box and a family's house to the green beam of light going end to Nigma's head. I think it's because it feels like an episode of the cartoon brought to life with the music.
I can see that. Yeah, and again, looking back, that's weirdly one of the things that held up the best. We all thought, "What is this weird thing? This green device that gets people's thoughts and credit card numbers and stuff, and it's like watching TV. That's so silly." And it's like that's what the internet has basically become, and people getting information and Facebook and all that stuff. So that was bizarrely ahead of its time.
Oi, Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you heard some people consider sleepaway camp offensive to the trans community?
Yeah, I did look that up before I wrote it because I was kind of curious what the takeaway was. I've heard more positive. Again, kind of like what I was saying, where if you're not allowed to, be who you are, it can be very damaging. And other people have pointed out too, saying, I mean, she still goes by she in the other movies too. So I think there's more arguments that's more pro than anti. And personally, I mean, I could be wrong, but that's sort of what I took away from it.
I know a guy. Thank you for becoming a member over on YouTube for 8 months. Appreciate that. Welcome back.
Phew.
Have you been able to check out If or the Garfield movie yet? If so, thoughts?
Now, the Garfield movie we're gonna do for a review. It'll probably be next year. We got an idea we want to try. I hope we can do it because it's a fun idea. And then if no, I still haven't seen. I'm still catching up on a whole bunch of other stuff to watch.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. A teaser for the new Wallace and Gromit movie came out today. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a ton out yet, but it's about as much as the other teaser, honestly. But still looks good. It'll be fun to see what they can do with that villain again because that's a really fun character.
King Casual, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you seen The Dragon Prince? It was made by one of the head writers of Avatar The Last Airbender, and Sokka voices the protagonist. You'd love it.
I should watch it. Maybe I'll add that to the list because I do make a list of stuff I need to watch. It was one of those things where the animation style just wasn't grabbing me. But again, I'm like, I should really, really sit down and watch it because I do hear it's very good. And obviously, good people behind it.
Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. Since this will be the last year of Twilight Tober Zone, will there be a full compilation video of every Zone video, just like you did for all the Alvin and the Chipmunks, Terminator, and Jurassic Park movies?
Yes, it'd be pretty silly not to, honestly.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Heather, what are your top 3 favorite Robin Williams roles? Oh gosh. Probably Genie. How can you not love Genie? I can't remember the name of his character in Dead Poet Society.
The teacher, yeah.
Yeah, the teacher. I love that movie because I was a teacher for 10 years. So that. And then maybe Mrs. Doubtfire. I don't know.
Oh, yeah?
Some of the comedy in Mrs. Doubtfire I just really, really like.
When
so-
he's bizarrely really believable
Yeah.
as that character. Like, I guess he would walk into places and like he buy like sex toys and stuff as Mrs. Doubtfire just to see if he could fool him. And it seemed to work.
Yeah. Chase, thank you for the $5 super chat. I loved Saturday's Twilight Zone vid number 12. Looks just like you, clearly the inspiration for Netflix's Uglies. That said, what's your favorite Zone episode?
Probably it was All the Time in the World, I think. I love that actor. I love Burgess Meredith. I think that's just such a funny idea. It's so mean. I love the Living Doll one. Oh, I love was it Of Late? I think of like somethingville. I don't know. I forget the title of it. I love the Blessed Are the Meek. I watch that every Christmas. Yeah, there's so many good ones. He's Alive is another great one that there's just too many to count.
Oi, Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. Seen the LS Mark cartoon Catching Up yet?
No, I haven't. I'm sorry. It's going to be a hot minute because, like I said, because I'm starting Disney December's early just in case the fatigue knocks me out. It did knock me out last week. So just heads up, there's not going to be much of the cast in Nostalgia Queen. In fact, you've seen it now. So sorry about that. But I am doing better. I cut out sugar, and that's been helping a great deal. So I'm really hoping things move more smoothly forward. But yeah, it's a very long-winded way of saying no, I haven't gotten a chance to yet.
I know, guys. Thank you for the 54-month subscription over on
Thank
Twitch.
you.
Welcome back. Appreciate that. I saw the new Sing short called Sing Thriller. It's cute. If you have a chance, check it out. It's only 11 minutes.
You know, I saw the little thumbnail for that. I thought Netflix was doing a thing where they were saying Sing re-edited as a thriller, like one of those YouTube videos from the old days. I thought they were just
Yes.
trying that. It's like, oh no, it's actually called Thriller. Okay, that makes more sense. I'm sure it's about it's with the song Thriller too. Yeah, actually, that sounds kind of fun. I probably will check that out.
Dave Z Dragon, thank you for the $5 super chat. I like editing the Channel Awesome wiki, but I can't always identify where the clips come from. Can you help me?
Probably not.
Yeah. We famously did
yeah,
a quiz where I just took random clips out of context and asked people to tell me what the review was, and Doug did not win, I can tell you that.
yeah, and not only is my memory of it not that great. Again, I know I remember, so you don't have to, but I really don't. But there's also the fact I just don't have time to do it, so I'm so sorry.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. This is part 1 of 2. In your click review, I'm shocked you didn't compare the future Henry Winkler's crying scene to Jim Carrey's Christmas Carol when Cratchit breaks down. To be continued.
I can see that.
Jack, thank you for the €5 super chat. With Terrifier 3 and the Wild Robot out, imagine if they played the wrong movie and the kids watched the opening scene of the third movie.
Well, what was it? People were gonna go see like Minions and they saw something
yeah,
like
right?
that.
I thought something like that happened.
Something like that happened. I can't remember what the other movie was, but I know or it was like, oh no, Mike, I can't remember what, or maybe Oogie Loves. No, that wasn't because nobody saw that. I can't remember, but Saw was the movie they showed to the kids movie. Yeah, no, Saw was definitely the movie they played. I can't remember what the kids movie was. But either way, it's pretty funny.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. This is part 2 of 2. In front of Invisible Scrooge, it's worse since Sandler repeats the heartbreaking moment hearing him say, "I love you, son," 3 times before kissing his cheek.
It's a very good scene. Like I said, I feel like I would have liked that movie a lot more if it wasn't just a traditional Adam Sandler movie. I actually thought the second half of that was surprisingly like very poignant and very surprisingly very dramatic.
Poe Rants, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the Netflix animated series Hilda. Personally speaking, it's one of my favorite animated series of all time.
I liked it. I don't think I completed the whole thing. I think I saw the first season and I saw the movie. I think there's like a second season in there somewhere. I should probably finish that up.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you seen the trailer for the new Wallace and Gromit?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much of it, but what I saw I thought looked good.
Oiram, thank you for the 500 bits. So you say Mickey Mouse isn't evil? Have you not seen Plain Crazy? He was clearly being forceful on Minnie.
Clearly, I haven't. Maybe it's like one of the old black and white ones. Because yeah, I can't. As soon as it goes to color, I can't see them going that route.
KJK, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey Doug, have you seen Transformers 1 yet? And if so, thoughts?
No. I don't think I'm gonna be able to see it on the big screen before it leaves because, like I said, I'm trying to catch up on. I'm trying to start early Disney Decembers. Like I said, just in case the fatigue knocks me out, and I don't think I'm gonna have time. I'll still try my best, but it's unlikely.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Fun fact about Hotel Transylvania. Originally, the movie was going to start with the death of Dracula's wife. They changed it because they decided it would not be a good idea to start a comedy with such a dramatic scene.
I see how that could work. Well, it's the Finding Nemo thing, isn't it? You set it up, and then you don't have to really explain it later. But no, I like it because you could just take it as like he has a prejudice against humans. Well, and they all have a fear of humans, so that kind of makes sense. So I thought that was a good move.
Brady, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you know what llamas with hats is? And if so, what are your thoughts?
Boy, maybe. Hold on, let me see.
That was like
with hats.
2010, right? That is early internet.
Yes, I do remember this. Wait, or am I confusing this with the unicorns? Because there's something about two little unicorns. I think I have heard
Charlie
of this.
The unicorn.
Yeah, okay, I have heard of this. I have not actually seen it. Maybe I should, because like you said, it's old school internet.
Mm-hmm. Barry, thank you for the £5 super chat. Don't know if you've been asked this, but why is Brazil your favorite movie?
I don't know, just had to pick something. No, it's I like weird, surreal, dark, demented movies that also have like a dark sense of humor, but there's a dark sense of dread. I love big, imposing worlds and the little guy fighting against it, but I love that the big, imposing world, it's really just bureaucracy. I think that's something that as a younger person, I'm like, man, I know I didn't like going to high school, so I was like, yeah, I can kind of relate to this. And then now as an adult, it's like, yeah, I can see how bureaucracy just does. I mean, I know why we have it, but man, does it suck that we have to have it. And there's so many things that slip through the cracks, and that's what that movie's about. Yeah, it just has everything I love in a movie. And the first time I saw it, I knew it was one of my favorite movies. I didn't know it was my favorite. It's not until I saw the British one, the one that's a little longer, that I'm like, this is my favorite flick. So yeah, absolutely love it.
Also, chat is telling us because this was bugging me. It was Paw Patrol where they accidentally
It
showed
was Paw
Saw.
Patrol.
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh, is
Mhm.
that why people kept saying Saw Patrol should be the new
Yes.
combo that people see with like Barbie and Oppenheimer and stuff? Okay.
Yes. Yes. Oi Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. Ever confuse an actor with someone else? I thought Borg Queen actress Alice Cridge was Tilda Swinton, for example.
I can see that. Okay. I don't think, yeah, when that movie came out, I don't think Tilda Swinton was a thing yet. Um, I'm sure I do. Uh, Sometimes I just for the names I confuse Ice Cube and Ice T. The way I keep it separate is I remember like Ice Cube is like a little wider and he's usually a wider, so that's how I remember.
Girl World, thank you for the $6 super chat. Will you ever be in California for any events for fans? Been watching you since I was a teenager. I'm in my 30s now. I've been wanting to meet you.
Oh, so cool! Thank you so much. If you want us out there, go to a con that you want us at and say, "Hey, I want Chill Awesome out here." See if we can get us out there.
Hayden, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thoughts on the Final Destination films? Were a big high school horror favorite of mine and have always been curious.
I've only seen the first one. I remember liking it, and I think I've seen bits of the other ones, mostly just the death scenes because the death scenes are pretty fun. Um, yeah, I remember liking the first one. I don't remember loving it like a lot of people did, but I remember it being fine.
Oi, Ram, thank you for the 500 bits. This is an interesting question here for you, Doug. Thoughts on Christopher Columbus? I feel like based on your review of Avatar, you might not be as harsh on him, probably.
Well, look, I mean, the guy. Say what you want about him, but he made Mrs. Doubtfire, and I really think we shouldn't forget that. And they made Home Alone and everything. Like we beat up on him a lot, but yeah, I think he deserves his own holiday. I don't get why people are trying to take that away. He made great movies. I don't understand. I can't see any other reason why.
Liv J. Brown, thank you for the 500 bits. No message, just the bits. Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. Well, that clue was easy. Looking forward to seeing what kind of Kevin Bacon and Josh Brolin jokes you make. Wait, are there any Stephen King reviews this year?
I mean, I'll just say, no. So here's what I did. I had a movie, and I was like, but then I found this other thing. This I guess no, I did kind of say what it was on social media, so I'll say what it is. It's this Ronald McDonald Halloween special, and I'm like, this looks like fun. Oh, but I'd have to knock out the Stephen King review. And I'm like, I really want to do this Ronald McDonald one. So I just asked on social media. I just said, look, I've been doing this for years. What are people's thoughts if I just stop doing Stephen King? Unless I really want to do it. Like I'm ready. I'm passionate to do it because I don't mind doing a Stephen King one, but I kind of want to do this one. Everyone's like, do the Ronald McDonald one, man. Oh my God, that one's, I really want to hear your thoughts on that, blah, blah, blah. Like overwhelmingly people said that. So it's not that Stephen King is like done or anything like that. And I do say this in the video too. I'm just only going to talk about it when there's something that like I really, really want to talk about. Because the past couple times, like they've either not done that great or they've just done okay. So yeah, I'm gonna take a little break for a bit.
Devox, thank you for that 53-month subscription over on Twitch. Welcome back. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hello, Doug and Heather. Could a show like Laugh-In be made today, either on TV or the internet, or has the sketch comedy time come and went?
Oh, it'll always be popular, then not popular, popular, then unpopular. I don't think it's something that'll ever fully go away, but it will change. I mean, Laugh-In is very, very different. That's a very different, time. And you can tell by the layout and the music and the colors and everything. And yeah, sure, even the humor of it. So it'll change, but sketch comedy will always be around, and it will to some extent be something similar to that. That wasn't even then. There were variety shows before then. I mean, it's a very common thing. So yeah, it'll still be around. It's something of that type.
Drama Opsity, thank you for the 500 bits. And let me just say, I don't know how we're going to answer this question because neither of us are, I don't know, qualified to answer this question. Hey, Doug, settle a debate between me and my girlfriend. Who is more autistic in the Owl House? Luce, Amity, or Hunter?
I I think you nailed it. I don't think I'm qualified. I'm sorry.
Headshot, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'd like to recommend the new show on Max Uzumaki. If you're looking for something really horrifying, and no, it has nothing to do with Naruto. Do people really think it has to do with Naruto, Headshot? That's sad.
What is there a character called that in Naruto or?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I have it saved because I know that art. I definitely recognize that artist's work, and I'm curious how it. The fact they have it in black and white still, that's a choice, and I'm really fascinated by that. So yeah, I'm curious to check it out.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen Attack the Block? It stars John Boyega as the leader of a group of street kids who have to defend themselves from an alien invasion.
Boy, it sounds familiar. I think I saw like a trailer for it or something.
Also,
yeah,
Chat has answered Uzumaki is Naruto's last name. That's why they said that. Amazing. Got it.
All right.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Oh, I was looking for something. The great thing. It was one of the few times I couldn't find something to hold up to. Oh, I always do something weird when it freezes. Sorry. Okay.
That's all right. That's okay. Attack the Block.
No, I think somebody recommended it before. No, I saw a trailer for it before, but I haven't seen it.
Okay. Liv J. Brown, thank you for the 500 bits. Hi, Doug. I remember you talking about Halloween Horror Nights. I was wondering if you watched any maze walkthroughs at Not Scary Farm. The design for the mazes are fantastic.
What's the name of the place again?
Knott's Scary Farm. Knotts.
I think I've been here.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let's see where it is real fast. It is. Come on.
Isn't it in California?
Is it? Okay, I thought we had something like this in Illinois. I'm not seeing where it is. Oh, Not Scary Farm location. It is California. Okay, I must be confusing for something else. I think we have because I thought we had like a Knott's Berry Farm here, and that's why. And they had some sort of like haunted house and maze and stuff like that. So I really thought they just changed the name. No, in that case, no, I have not seen that one. I'll try to check it out.
Alex Loves Musicals, thank you for the 500 bits. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Heather, what do you think of the last episode of Agatha All Along? I never thought an MCU show would give me a jump scare like that. It had some Evil Dead vibes. The show got really dark and I'm loving it. Oh, yeah. I am continuing to love it.
You ain't gonna go check this stupid show out.
It does kind of feel like the way they're going through some of the different styles is a little bit how you would have wanted Agatha all along, WandaVision to be, because it does touch on different styles and different decades, and I don't know. It's a great show. I'm having a fun time with it.
Okay, is it done? Do they run all the episodes? Okay, gotcha.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you consider reviewing Little Giants starring Rick Moranis and Ed O'Neill? It came out during the 90s string of the underdog kids in sports trope.
Probably not. Rookie of the Year didn't do that great, and I never did see Little Giants. It just looks like another, like you said, sort of just underdogs, Mighty Ducks type movie, and those don't do much for me anyway, so probably not.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you consider reviewing Little Giants starring Rick Moranis and Ed O'Neill? Okay. I just read that. Sorry, I apologize. Wizard of What, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hi, Doug. Wizard here. You technically did this as a bum review April Fool's joke, but could you please do a full review of The Neverending Story for NC?
We had it we wrote down the notes and everything, but it's another one where the fatigue knocked me out, so I had to do a quick editorial one. So at some point, I don't think we'll be able to do it this year, but I think I saved it too because I'm like, oh, I got some ideas I want to do, and hopefully we can do it when we have a studio too. So yes, that'll probably be sometime next year though.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'll ease your mind. The first game that introduced the double jump function and health bar meter was a 1985 Namco game called Dragon Buster. You're welcome.
Huh. Okay. But I want to know more. I want to know who else did. I mean, that was the first one I introduced a health bar too. What? It's like these two big marbles. It's a game like I've never heard of it. I don't know if other people have. Oh my god. See, I'm already so I don't know why I'm so fascinated by this. This is very, very fascinating to me.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Whenever I think about Ebert saying he liked Home Alone 3, I think about how the movie is about a kid trying to stop a group of criminals from getting their hands on a missile chip. Just a reminder, this is the guy who said his problem with the original is that it was too unrealistic.
Yeah, the only thing I can figure is that he thought it was just so absurd that it was kind of fun. But I don't follow. Yeah, I didn't find much fun in that movie at all.
G Kids, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hello, I have a new proposal. Resident Evil month. Also, I rewatched FTWD. The army fell because of a fence. Gamers could take down a horde better.
I haven't seen any of the Resident Evil movies. I also haven't played any of the games though, so that's one of the reasons
I
I've
love
stayed
some
away.
of the Resident Evil games, Doug.
I feel like I can't remember. I was with it might have been I can't remember if we posted or not, but I think I played a game with James on one of these, like James and Mike plays, but Mike was out, so I was there. And I think we tried it. We just could. It was like the first one, I think. So all the camera angles were all off and everything.
No, not that
okay.
one. You need to play
not
like
that
the
one.
RE2 remake or the RE3 remake or 7 or 8 or the 4 remake.
so something after 2 or something after 1, at least it sounds like. Okay, good to know.
Hailstorm, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey Doug, been a fan since 2010. Who was your favorite Ninja Turtle, and did you ever watch the 2003 version?
So my favorite now is okay. My favorite looking back as an adult, is Raphael because he was the funniest one. But when I was a kid, I like Michelangelo because he was the fun doofus that wasn't that smart, but he was just always happy, and that was me. I always knew that was me. And that was did I see the 2003 one?
Yeah,
was that
version
the
of the
question?
TMNT.
No, I haven't really seen any of the shows aside from the original. I've only seen bits and pieces of the other shows, and they look fun. They look fine and everything. I really want to see the CG one because everybody says that's the best one. I think I have the first season on DVD. Somebody gave it to me at a con. And I'm like, just to be, just to follow through. Dang it, I should watch that because she gave it to me. I mean, got to be over a decade ago. And yeah, I should finally sit down and at least watch a little bit.
Headshot, thank you for the $5 super chat. Another game to play one day, RoboCop Rogue City, where you get to be RoboCop with the first-person shooting and make decisions that determine outcomes.
Sounds kind of cool. I look into it.
What up, JD? Thank you for the $5 super chat. Besides Shrek and Prince of Egypt, which DreamWorks movie would you like to see get a stage musical? Shark Tale and B-Movie are on my mind currently.
Well, okay, B-movie just to see what they do. That'd be kind of fun. Honestly, again, I mean, even though it's technically a sequel, I kind of love to see the latest Puss in Boots movie. Like, I think that'd actually be a really good sequel. I think it'd have some fun songs. I think really diving into what the characters are going through and everything. I think adding songs and music to that would be really, really cool.
Balvier, thank you for becoming a member over on YouTube. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Doug, thank you for the 10-pound super chat. If Sean Connery was still alive and you've got to interview him, what would you ask?
Are you gonna slap me? No. I don't know. I feel like I answered this question before, but maybe not. Yeah, probably. I wouldn't mind getting into his mindset of how he played Henry Jones, because that was very different for him. And he's very good at playing different characters, but that one was just so different. Like, I just don't see Sean Connery in that role, even though it's clearly him. He's got the voice, the beard, and everything. I was just so fascinated by that. I did not know that was, when I was a kid, I couldn't believe that was James Bond. I was blown away by that fact. I'm like, no, nobody can act that good. And I just was amazed by that. So I wouldn't mind. And maybe I can even look up some interviews about that because I wouldn't mind hearing him talk about the character.
Jimmy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Besides The Room, what are some good bad movie suggestions?
Oh man, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. If you've ever seen that one, that one's fun. Sleepwalkers is really fun. Maximum Overdrive, since we were talking about Stephen King movies earlier. I feel like everybody's seen Birdemic. I don't know. There's no shortage of them. You can find a great deal of them.
Girl World, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you considered maybe a Terrifier review may work if you did all the scenes with puppets?
Depends how realistic we make the puppets. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I want to wait for all the movies to come out though, because they are saying there's going to be. Oh, well, I mean, the ending definitely indicates there's going to be a fourth one with 3. So yeah, I'll wait for them.
The Wizard of What, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hi, Doug. You've said a few times you still write, direct, and edit the videos yourself. Why don't you hire someone else to edit them for you?
I'm too much a control freak. Even when something fails, we've had 1 or 2. We've been very lucky, honestly, doing the 17 years. How many videos have like just spectacularly failed? But there are a handful, and I like when that happens. I can point to me and I say, "That's your fault. Learn from it," kind of thing. If something doesn't work, I can change it. I don't like handing it off to someone else. And if something doesn't work, I would just be like, well, I would have done this, I would have done that, I would have blah blah blah. Like, no, I like it's all on me. A lot of people, would want the opposite, like, "Oh, I can't take that pressure," whatever. But I'm too much of a control freak, and if there's a problem, I like that I can go in immediately. Even this thing where I got it wrong, I said 30 years instead of 40 years for the video today. I like that's my mistake. Like, oh, that's so stupid of me, but that's only me. That's all on me, and in a weird way, I like that. So, like, even when I do something wrong, I have control over what went wrong, and that's comforting to me, weirdly.
Maryland Wolves, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hello, Camper Doug and Heather. Since it's since it's turned 25 recently, what are your thoughts on Fight Club and possible NC review?
I love to do an NC review. That's one of those where I keep going back and forth if I want to do something, like a little different with it. There's a few movies where I have written on there, like experimental review, maybe, like that. I love to do one like with Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, a little experimental, one with Ed Wood, a little experimental. But a lot of it is, if beating the fatigue, which again, the past couple weeks have been really good getting rid of the sugar. So hopefully it's like on its way, though I said that before. But yeah, I very much like it. And I really like the movie. I'm not going to pretend like it's perfect, but I always call it timelessly dated because it's always relevant at some point, and then it's always dated at some point. And it always goes back and forth because we'll always hit that point where we're comfortable. We're almost too comfortable and we're not about anything. And then we'll hit a point where too much is going on, like it's out of our control. And we keep going back and forth between them. So I think the movie's very fascinating in that way.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Revenge of the Sith, what do you think of the final battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin? I like the moment where Obi-Wan apologizes to Anakin for failing him.
I like it. It's cool. I like the one between the Emperor and Yoda more. I love playing that scene where the table or whatever it starts rising up as they're fighting, and the choir just I could just watch. I think I did watch that a million times. Honestly, when I came to DVD, I just watched that over and over. Like, that is so cool. So yeah, I mean, it's good. I wish the writing was better and the acting. Of course, you could say that for most of the movie, but yeah, no, it's done well.
The Westonator, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, what is your research process when writing a review? Because no offense, but you've gotten quite a few factoids incorrect in your videos.
Oh, yeah. No, and that's because, again, it's mostly me. I mean, I don't have a ton of time to do them. Rob often, when we're watching something together, he'll look up info on it. And sort of say this stuff. He'll look up like trivia and everything. So that usually helps. But yeah, no, it's one of those things where because I am doing everything, I'm writing it, directing it, all that stuff. Yeah, there's gotta be mistakes. We used to have these videos called the top 11 NC F-ups. I think we got to like 3 parts, and there's still so many more after that. But yeah, I just stopped doing them because I think the character's voice was a little grating to do. And I don't think people would watch it if I don't bring that character back. And now there's just too many. There's too many to count.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Who are some underrated actors in your opinion? I wish Barry Pepper would get more work. He was great in Saving Private Ryan and 25th Hour. Jesus Christ.
Rosa Salazar, I think, is really fantastic. And maybe part of it is she picks really interesting projects. Anything she's in is interesting. And she gets work and everything, but I mean, she's not a name, and I feel like she should be a name. I'm trying to think of others. I don't know. They usually kind of. I used to say James McAvoy because for a while he was kind of this unknown, but now he's really blown up, which is great to see. Yeah, all the ones I'm thinking of, like they used to be unknowns and then they became really big names. So yeah, as of now, I'm sure there are. I'm sure there's plenty, but I'm just blanking on them.
Gorilla Steve, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug and Heather.
Oh no, I know it. I know it. Sorry. The one thing everyone agrees was the only good scene in Joker 2 that everyone can agree on was what's it? James Gill, something like that, or I'm blanking on his name, but the little guy who took the stand, he was in the first one too. Everyone said that was hands down the best scene in the movie. That was just all his acting, and that's someone where I went, ooh, I gotta look up more of this guy's stuff.
Gorilla Steve, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug and Heather, would you rather see a Vampirella movie or a Castlevania live action movie?
I haven't seen much Vampirella. So probably a live action Castlevania, even though I like the animated Castlevania quite a bit.
No one, thank you for the £12 super chat. Hey, Doug, with Hollywood putting out sequels and just continuing franchises because they know no matter what they can make money out of it, do you think there's any incentive to make great films?
Oh yeah. Well, we've seen from Disney this year. They scaled back and said, hey, let's just focus on only a couple and just try to make them really good. And they were big hits. And I think last year they tried to put out a ton, and they felt rushed, or they felt like they were spread too much. And I think all of them were disasters. I think so some I think eventually made their money back, but I mean, like, yeah, I'll say this too. I think something like what Terrifier is showing us in those movies, you don't need these huge budgets. If anything, the fact that these movies are using practical effects that are really there and they're cheaper and people want to see them, I think that's saying that people should work within their limitations and they should focus more on clever ways of doing something instead of expensive ways of doing something. And I think that does come to original ideas as well, because Terrifier is an original idea.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Is Batman over since Walter did all the Batman animated series review?
Yep.
Yeah.
He worked very hard on them and he deserves a break.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. On a Jungle Book kick, how would you rank the 1994 deaths? Shere Khan killing Wilkins, Bluto buried alive, the quicksand scene, and Ka killing Boone.
I mean, the quicksand scene clearly is number one. I guess the guy, yeah, getting buried alive, that would be number two. And then I guess the falling off the cliff and then Shere Khan. Yeah, there you go.
Maryland Wolves, thank you for the $5 super chat. Since it's spoopy season, I want to ask, what's your favorite horror video game from each of you? My favorite might be Resident Evil 2.
I mean, I don't like answering with this because obviously it's all over the place and it's talked about way too much and played too much and everything. But the first time I did see Five Nights at Freddy's, I'm like, this is great. This is a great idea. These things look scary, but they almost look real in a funny way. I thought that the setup was great, legit funny, legit suspenseful. Yeah, that's weirdly the one, because that's the. I know there's other scary games, but that's the one where like there was this excitement to like, oh, like this is this is kind of an exciting idea, and it's not that complicated. And I think that's one of the reasons it took off so much.
I had a lot of fun with Alien Isolation. That was a really, really well done horror game where it's a hide game where instead of like fighting, you just have to hide from the alien because what else are you gonna do? It's the freaking alien from Alien,
Mhm.
like you just have to hide. That one scared the heck out of me. It was a little too long, but I loved it. And so far my favorite Resident Evil game has actually been 7. I don't know, it was the first Resident Evil game I ever played, and I've got like a connection to 7. I had a really great experience with it, but it would be Resident Evil 7, then maybe the 2 remake would be like the top 3 there.
And then what's
Oh,
that
Doki
demo
Doki Literature Club. Oh my god, Doki Doki
Oh, I guess
Literature
that
Club.
counts, that counts, yeah,
Loved Doki Doki Literature Club.
and then what's that one? PT, I think is what it's called,
I
the
never
demo that never
played
got made?
PT.
It's pretty great. It's pretty great.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What's your favorite Pee Wee Herman moment? I just heard the actor died, and I won't ever forget when he guest hosted Monday Night Raw.
It was, I think it was like a year ago, was it? Maybe I'm wrong. But favorite moment. Um, I love the whole stand-up bit he did, where he was doing Pee Wee's Playhouse, for the first time, pretty much on stage. Uh, I really love when he gets John B, the floating head, the little genie in the box, gets him. He says, "Something came for you." It's his hands. His hands came in. He's like, "Oh, they look great." Yeah. He says, "Well, enjoy your hands, John B." He says, "Thanks, Pee Wee. I've had something I wanted to do for a long time." And there's just so many jokes like that where it's like they're not technically dirty, but all you have to do is read a little bit into it and they're dirty. I love it.
Barry, thank you for the £5 super chat. Hi, I know you have done reviews for Hulk Hogan movies and The Rock with Doom, but can you at some point do a review of any John Cena and Dave Bautista?
I did Playing with Fire. That was a John Cena one. And I guess I haven't done Dave Bautista. I'll look into it.
Wizard of What, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hi, Doug. What are your thoughts on the Goosebumps movie, and will we see a Nostalgia Critic on it?
I thought it was very dull. I like the miniseries that came out. I think it was last year. That was surprisingly really good. It sounds like it'd be such a dumb idea, but it was really, really engaging and really fun. The movie I didn't get into at all. I'm not a Goosebumps guy. They're kind of fun to watch for how like kind of silly and lame they are, and I know that's part of the fun. But yeah, just the movie itself. I have no connection to R.L. Stein's books. I just don't get into them. I'm sorry. But from what Heather was saying, he sounds like a really cool guy. And
guy.
I love that. And I love that he got more kids into reading. But they're just more for me.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Fun fact about Mrs. Doubtfire. Originally, Miranda and Daniel were going to get back together. In the end, it was actually Robin Williams who insisted they shouldn't get back together because it wouldn't be realistic for that to happen after everything that's happened.
That's a very good point. I'm surprised Columbus didn't come up with that because he was saying another thing was they were going to make Pierce Brosnan the bad guy, and they didn't want to do that either. Like they actually really do want to make it about a real, what feels like a real couple getting a real divorce. There's just this silly thing going on where he dresses like a lady and everything. But yeah, I think that was a very, very good choice. And I remember as a kid watching that because I didn't know many people, maybe even any people at the time that went through a divorce. And so seeing that ending where this happens, but it's okay. Like it goes on and they still love you and stuff like that. If anything, it's a necessary thing to happen for people to find who they truly love. Like the way they framed it really meant something as a kid, seeing that.
Ted, thank you for the $10 super chat. Doug, love the shirt. Heather, power to the teachers. Anyway, will NC ever review the Penn and Teller films?
There's films? I didn't even know that. Probably not because, like I said, I don't know who would click on it. I don't even know if people know they exist, but I'll at least try to look into. Oh wait, isn't there one called like BS the movie or something? Maybe I heard of that, but I haven't seen it, so I will try to at least check it out.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. In Big Daddy, what do you think of the scene when they took the kid away from Sandler's character?
I remember that scene. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I remember it happening, but I don't remember what the emotions, like what I was thinking while watching it. Obviously, I was trying to be emotional, but I can't remember if it worked or not. I only saw it once years ago. I remember being all right, but I don't remember if that scene worked. It might have.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. In Unfriended, where was everybody's parents when the teens were being attacked?
Good question. I like how the friends kind of have like they almost have like the token friends, like kind of like the token overweight kid and the token kind of dummy and like they're a little bit of the token club in there, but I still thought they were believable enough, especially because again, I feel like you're not supposed to like them.
Invader Zim, thank you for the 500 bits. I recently saw Paranorman. It was okay, with the exception of the last 20 minutes, but the cast is a bit one note except Norman. P.S. Selma should have been a main character.
I'm trying to remember who Selma was.
It's been so long since I've seen it, I don't know.
Yeah, I gotta watch it again. Maybe no, it's not the main. It's not the witch. I don't know, I gotta watch it again. I just did. How can I not remember that? But it is funny because when I first saw it, I always ride the high of that ending. I think I tried to talk about that in the review. It's like, man, that last third is just so amazing, and that twist is just so heartbreaking and everything that I always kind of, it's just so perfect after that. And I do always forget, the first two thirds. It's like, it's good. Like, it's more the technicals are great and the creativity is great, but the characters are, like you said, a touch one note. Like, maybe 1.5 note. You know what I mean? Like there's a bit more to them, but not a bunch.
Chat is clarifying that Selma is the girl with the glasses, the nerdy girl.
Oh, okay. I could see her teaming up with Norman. I really like Norman though. I like that he's a sweet kid in there. I could see her like teaming up with that. That would maybe make with the group, that would maybe add a missing element there.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on The Hills Have Eyes, both the original and the remake?
I didn't see the remake. I saw the original years ago. I think I was pretty young actually. It was one of those where I was at a neighbor's house and they didn't care what the kids watched, so that was on. I do remember it being creepy, and like very uncomfortable and everything, but I don't remember a whole bunch about it. I don't know. Maybe I should put that on. Rewatch that because I really don't remember that well.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Mr. Bean was mistaken by someone when he was out in public, and one of the guys said, "You're not him."
That's always funny when that happens. One time, so whenever I'm at a con and I'm walking around and people say, "Are you Doug Walker?" I just go, "Oh no, it's just a really good cosplayer." And they laugh, whatever, we talk and everything. But one person really did believe it. It's like, wow, okay, yeah, because you look just like him. And I'm like, I think, I forget, someone else was with me, maybe Brad or somebody. I'm like, I'm just going to keep going with this. Like, oh, what do you think of? He's okay. Yeah, what do you think of the Angry Video Game Nerd? Oh, he's good. Not as good as the Nostalgia Critic. Oh, really? Yeah, and I just kept going and going. And finally, I'm just like, yeah, it's me.
MC Dexpo, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you ever thought of doing revisited reviews of movies you reviewed years ago as an anniversary kind of thing? It would make me so happy.
Definitely. We'll do it at some point. I was gonna do like a whole month dedicated to it, especially the really, really early ones where I could only talk about them for like 10 minutes and the style was a little different. I was more focused on jokes than analyzing it, which I mean, now it's like, that used to be how it is. Now I feel like it's a little bit more in favor of analyzing and there's jokes, where before it was kind of switched around. So I would like to do that. Yeah.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Ratatouille, what do you think of the friendship between Linguini and Remy?
It's good. I'm not gonna pretend like it's one of my favorites, like one of the great friendships or anything, but I thought it worked. I thought it was decent.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Heather, how would you rank these movie villains? Hannibal Lecter, Heath Ledger's Joker, Norman Bates, Nurse Ratched. I'm laughing. Yeah. I'm laughing because I definitely haven't seen all these movies.
Which ones haven't you seen?
I haven't seen a Hannibal Lecter movie. I haven't seen a Norman Bates movie.
You haven't seen Psycho?
Oh no, I have seen Psycho.
Yeah, that's Norman Bates.
I have seen Psycho. You're right. Well, I don't know what I was thinking. I have seen Psycho. I've seen a lot of Hitchcock stuff. Okay. And Nurse Ratched is from
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's
One Flew
Nest.
Over the Cuckoo Nest. I almost said Clockwork Orange, and I was like, that is not right. So I guess I'll go. I just love Heath Ledger's Joker. I just told you it's my favorite movie. And then we'll go Norman Bates and then Nurse Ratched, and I haven't seen a Hannibal Lecter movie, so there.
There you go.
What up, JD? Thank you for the $5 super chat. Is Garbage Pail Kids still your worst movie of all time, or has that changed? Also, Heather, what's your worst movie ever?
Oh, that's a good question. For me, yes, that is still the worst.
My worst movies ever. I have a very distinct memory of being at a birthday party stuck at a viewing of Master of Disguise, and it wasn't
Oh,
my
that's right.
birthday party. And I was just like, it was the first time I remember being like, I don't want to be here in a movie and being like, I wish I could just leave. So there's that memory. And then Employee of the Month with Dane Cook was also one of the only movies I
Oh,
begged my
oh,
date. I was like, we're not having fun. Can we just leave?
I don't even think I heard of that one before. Huh.
Okay. Those are I have two very distinct memories of those.
Hmm.
Barry, thank you for the £2 super chat. Jace, thank you for the $10 super chat. What's your favorite segment of First Creepshow film? I will defend Lonesome Death of Jordy Verrell as the best since it's not only visually creepy, but pretty depressing, plus Stephen King as Jordy was perfect.
Um, yeah, it's the buried up to the neck at the beach. It's a creepy idea. Somebody must have done it before, but just how terrifying Leslie Nielsen was. I mean, really legit terrifying. I just couldn't believe how, I was talking before about how, like, I couldn't believe James Bond was Indiana Jones's father. Like, I just can't believe it. But you told me, yeah, Frank Drebin can legit be really scary and intimidating. I mean, he doesn't change a thing about how he looks. I'd be blown away by it, and I am blown away by it. So yeah, that whole segment I still watch, and I'm just like, it's shot well and done well and everything, but I'm just watching his acting, like, just intrigued. Like, how did he do that so well? And I know he was a dramatic actor even before comedy, but wow, was he good?
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. In Spider-Man No Way Home, did you hate that they branded New Dade the trilogy by erasing Peter Parker from everyone's memory?
No. Okay, let me put it this way too. Everyone, I guess this was a big thing. Like, Tony Stark can't make his suit. He can't have a connection to him. Blah blah blah. Well, there you go. Now he has to start over. The only thing I didn't like, I think I feel like we can talk about this. It's several years old.
Yeah.
I didn't like wiping out Mary Jane's memory and his friend's memory, because you just know they're gonna go back at some point. Either he's whatever gonna meet up with Gwen and then realize he really wants Mary Jane, or something else happens to Gwen. And or she's just they're gonna meet up again in the next movie, and it's just gonna be like, why are we doing this? Unless, which I don't think they're gonna do, it seems very unlikely, but unless they actually do go so far as to.
Oh, we have our first official well, I guess the other one was an official Doug Freeze, but this is a longer one. Oh, he's back.
Oh no! Oh,
that wasn't a fast one.
I went on so long. Damn it.
Well, I think we heard most of that. I think we heard most of it. Where did you leave off? Yeah, I think we heard most of it. You literally were only frozen for like 30 seconds.
I was just the connection with Mary Jane. That was the only thing I was kind of like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Dave Z Dragon, thank you for the $5 super chat. I'd be thrilled if the Trash Pack commercials made it into one of your commercial specials, perhaps the upcoming one.
I don't know if I know that one. Trash Pack commercials. Yeah, I don't know this one. I will look it up.
Maryland Wolves, thank you for the $5 super chat. If I may recommend something for Halloween, I recommend the anime Monster. It's a psychological thriller with great villains, writing, and an amazing... Oh, no, sorry. With great writing and an amazing villain named Johan.
I've seen a little bit of it. It is really good. I haven't finished it. It was one of those that years ago my brother was trying to get me into it, and I was liking it. I just didn't have time to finish it, and I still haven't had time to finish it. But I do recall hearing it's really good. One of these days, I'll sit down and watch all of it, because I don't think it's that long. I don't think it's a particularly long show.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. In Star Trek First Contact, what do you think of the friendship between Lily and Picard?
I liked it. I like that movie a lot. That's actually one of my favorite Star Trek movies. Maybe because it is different. It is a little bit more dark and creepy, and I like the Borg a lot, even though they change a lot in terms of like the technicals about it and everything. But yeah, it was a different type of Star Trek movie. It was like a survival. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I like there were machine guns in it. It was. I feel like Star Trek now, or at least a couple of years ago, they're trying to go so into the action stuff, and they weren't that great at it. Trying to bring in a new crowd, and that I felt like found that nice balance of like, okay, Star Trek fans can watch this and really enjoy it, but then new people can come in. Because I was in high school at the time. I know so many people that were just like, dude, Star Trek sucks. That movie was awesome. Like they legit really got into it. And they wanted to look up more. So yeah, I thought it was a pretty good balance.
Andres, thank you for the €5 super chat. Hello, love your content. What do you think about
Thank you.
your videos are voiced in Russian?
Uh yeah, I guess there's a lot of different versions of my voice being dubbed in different languages and stuff like that, which is really cool. I don't know. I know it sounds strange, but I just can't even comprehend that's a thing. That's like so amazing to me. Somebody was saying when I did the Smiling Friends cameo that the person who dubbed me in Brazil, I think, was also the voice of like that version of like Sonic the Hedgehog. And I'm just like, oh my god, I'm like kind of voiced by Sonic in a way. Holy smokes! Just all that is so mind blowing to me, and I still can't. I don't know. I can't get over it. I can't get over how lucky I am, and I really do have all of you to thank for that. So thank you so much again.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Fun fact, Scarlett Johansson was in Home Alone 3 before her big Marvel movie debut.
True. Yeah, I think we talked about that in the review. It'd be weird if I didn't.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. What series finale were you disappointed by more, The Sopranos or Game of Thrones?
I think I stopped watching Sopranos by that point. And at least there was a little bit of like, that was at least a gamble. You know what I mean? They were just like, okay, we're gonna take a chance on this. It didn't work, but man, what a chance! Well, what a risky move that was. Where with Game of Thrones, I think everyone agreed it could have worked. And I'm glad everybody saw it. Everybody was like, no, this could work. You just needed another season to really explore it and expand on it. And it was way too rushed to a point where just nothing made sense. So yeah, probably Game of Thrones is worse.
Mark, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, is there a chance you might ever review great parody movies like Airplane and Spaceballs? Also, could I recommend Titanfall 2? Great game.
Try to look into that. Spaceballs, I have an idea for a crossover with somebody. We've talked about it, and he's gonna see if he can, because he's never done a crossover before, so he's gonna see if he can, if we can figure out how to do it sometime next year. So hopefully that'll happen. And if not, if he's just like, nah, I can't figure out how to make this work, I'll just do it on my own.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. In the live-action Turtles movie from 1990s, what did you think of the turtle costume? Also, fun fact, you can see the camera men in some scenes on DVDs.
Yeah, and I've seen that movie a million times. I can't believe the scene where Leo and Raph are arguing. I never know. I mean, clearly you can see like just a guy with like a boom mic or something behind the table, and I just can't believe I never noticed that all these years. No, the costumes are phenomenal. Like, still mind blowing today. I just look at those and it's like, I don't know. I still remember when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I thought they were stop motion when I first saw the pictures of them. I was just amazed there was a live action one at all. And then when I saw the actual like trailer for it, I'm like, like it was just so cool when you see something that you love so much just suddenly have so much. I was gonna say so much money, but it's like it's an independent movie. But but the Jim Henson people came in and did that. I mean, like top of their game, and that just looks so amazing to me. So yeah, I still look at those just in awe.
G-Kids, thank you for the $5 super chat. Fear the Walking Dead. Also, you said you can to other cons come Tampa Bay Comic-Con. Doug, can you take the heat of Florida?
I've been there before. I've been there a few times. It does get intense with the heat. Well, with a lot of things, doesn't it? But yeah, I've been to Florida for a con before too. Again, just if you want me down there, tell some cons and say, hey, we want Jay Awesome down there. See if we can get us down there.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Indiana Jones, what do you think of Marcus?
Oh, I like Marcus a lot. I go back and forth whether or not I like that they make him so silly in the third one, but at the same time, I mean, like, he's a guy who clearly would not be ready for adventure. It's almost weird that he came along. So I think that, but maybe in his mind, he's like, well, yeah, it's archaeology or whatever. I'm a professor. I know about this stuff. And, so it would make sense. You would think, yeah, there's not much to it. So maybe we should be angry at Indy because he should have warned him.
Majestic Demon, thank you for the 500 bits. I know not everyone listened to One Direction, but nonetheless, RIP to Liam Payne. He was only 31. Yeah, and that's why it's so tragic.
Yeah,
Goodness.
no, Heather was telling me about that beforehand. I'll be honest, I don't know much about One Direction, but I've heard of them. I know they're a huge band and everything. And yeah, no, I mean, at such a young age, that's very, very sad to hear.
James, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you rather have a limitless IQ with the mind able to handle all of it, or a limitless memory where you never have to forget anything?
Oh, probably the IQ. Even though I don't want to know everything, I think it'd just be too much. Well, especially with that, you probably would get a memory that remembers everything that if your IQ was like limitless. So yeah, guess that's my answer.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of Martin from Frasier?
I like him. He's played well. I like they lighten him up as the show goes along in the first season, and I get what they're doing, but he's a little too much of a curmudgeon. But by like season two, I think very quickly he uh, gets his proper footing, and yeah, no, he's a fun character.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. I know you still don't like Signs, but other YouTubers are watching it for the first time and they are saying it was a really good film.
Sure,
So what's wrong with you, Doug?
I know, I know. Clearly, they're wrong. Mathematically, they're wrong. No, please. I mean, I know lots of people that like movies that I don't care for, or that they, that I like and they don't like. I mean, it's a very common thing, and that's good. You find out about people through your differences, and with something like movies where it's not math, it's not fact, it's opinion. I like sharing difference of opinions, and again, finding out more about a person, and maybe finding out more about a movie too. I can change my mind if somebody introduces something. I'm like, oh, I never thought of it that way before.
James, thank you for the $5 super chat. You mentioned before not liking Meet the Robinsons completely. How would you do a fanscription to fix it on how you think it should go?
Boy, I don't know. I don't know because I feel like ideas like that have been done a little bit with kind of the time travel thing. I'd have to really think about it. I would definitely simplify it more. It'd probably take out a good half the characters, and the characters that were there would punch up a little bit, either make it a little funnier, a little bit more unique. Something with that. Yeah, I haven't thought about that movie in a while.
Ronnie G, thank you for the $5 super chat. What's up, Mr. Skywalker? Something about asking content creators that I like to ask for advice rather than doctors. So, Doug, what help you be more confident?
Making mistakes and knowing I can survive them okay. They say you can't be old and wise without being young and dumb, and I've definitely been young and dumb. And you just learn from it and you say, okay, well, so it's funny. I always talk about my memory's not that great, but the fact is I can't remember always details and facts, but I remember how I feel. I remember emotion during a certain time. And if I say, man, I didn't like the way I felt there, how do I change that? How do I get so that doesn't happen again? Because if I have too much of that sad feeling, I'm going to, I'm not going to have a good time on earth. So, but I also acknowledge we need those moments to learn, to find out that stuff. So, yeah, you just, you be realistic, but you also be easy on yourself and others. That's probably the best way I can put it.
Stead, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hiya, Doug. Been wondering if
Hey.
you've heard that a third Angry Birds movie is in production, since you had some strong feelings about the first and second ones in very different ways.
Yeah, boy, it's weird because like, is Angry Birds even still a thing? I didn't think it was. And then the second film didn't do that well, even though I liked it quite a bit. So all I can say is I hope it's good, I guess.
Barry, thank you for the £5 super chat. What's your favorite movie soundtrack of all time?
Man, oh, that's rough.
That's a tough one.
Brother, maybe like so. Okay, it's not that they're my favorite tracks. There's a lot of other movies I can think of that have tracks that I like more. But in terms of like, man, that's a complete say. If you had to listen to one soundtrack, just all of it over and over and over, it'd probably be the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy. That just has a lot of stuff that I like. It has a lot of variety. I'm a sucker for choirs, so I like they have the pretty choirs and they have the like the deep booming ones and everything. Hunt for Red October is another one that probably be pretty close. It has an amazing choir too. But like I said, I don't know if I'd say those are my favorite tracks, but just in terms of a soundtrack, like the whole thing, just to listen to, it'd probably be that.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think to the new changes of Star Wars when Disney Plus first came out? They added a line to Greedo McClunky. I know a Star Wars YouTuber, Nathan Butler, liked it, but they brought the Fox fanfares back to the digital and removed the truncated fanfares from 2 through 6.
Uh, so okay, the McClunky thing is pretty silly. I heard that was a Lucas thing again, which just who knows why he does what he does. But in terms of just most of this, they're talking about just the original movies now, right? Is that what we're keeping focus on, or just Star Wars in general?
They said the new changes to Star Wars when Disney Plus first came out.
Okay, so they must mean just the original trilogy. I haven't seen it actually. I think it's one of those where I grew up watching the original VHSs so much. And we have gotten it like on DVD and Blu-ray and stuff like that. And we'll watch part of it, but yeah, they just make so many changes now. It's like, I don't know. And I've just seen it so many times. Like, I remember it well enough in here. I know my memory's not great, but I watched those movies a lot when I was younger, so I remember it well enough.
Jace, thank you for the $5 super chat. The kids' movie you're thinking is Finding Dory. A guy in Florida accidentally put in the trailer for Sausage Party thinking it's a kid film.
Okay. Oh, wait. No, I heard something about playing Saw, I thought.
Yeah,
was
me too.
It a Sausage Party? Huh. I swore I heard one with Saw. I swear.
Me
Okay. Could be wrong.
Could be weird. Or could be wrong. I'm always weird. JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Jurassic World is a soft reboot of the second trilogy, but I don't see how you could do it again because Isla Nublar is destroyed in Fallen Kingdom unless they do bring the island back somehow 5 years later.
I mean, they can make up whatever they want now. No, the whatever, the DNA is now over there. Now they're making him over here. I mean, they've just gotten so stupid and silly. They can really do whatever they want, which I wouldn't mind. Just make them fun, and they're just not fun. Like the park opening in the first Jurassic World, like that was cool at least, and then the ending was really cool. But yeah, everything else about it is just not a good time to me. I don't know. It's weird that we never got a good Jurassic Park sequel after the first one, in my opinion.
Dev the Wiser, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen Anaconda 1997? And if so, what are your thoughts?
No, and I should actually put that down. I'm sure people want to see me talk about that because I hear it's pretty silly, but in a fun way. So I should check that out.
Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. Top 3 best looking horror films.
Oh, brother. Crimson Peak would probably be up there. The Haunting. Man, I'm trying to think of any other one because it doesn't necessarily have to be scary; it just has to be a horror film. Boy, I'm suddenly blanking. Let me just type in like pretty horror films on it. Pretty horror.
I was frozen
films.
today.
Oh, The Innocents is pretty. Oh, and The Shining. There you go. That's a phenomenal looking one. Yeah, those are good.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. And Aladdin, what do you think of the scene where the genie and Aladdin say goodbye? The way Aladdin says, "Genie, I'm gonna miss you," really gets me.
That's funny because I mean he does that well. It's the follow-up line that William says there. That just sounded. It's very short, but it's just so sweet, and like you hear his voice kind of shaking and everything. I thought he did that very well for literally just one line he has to say. He got across a lot.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of the episode of The Cosby Show, The Night of the Wretched, when Vanessa gets in trouble for going to Baltimore?
I haven't seen that shit. I don't think I've seen those episodes since they came out. I might have seen them, or that one, but I'm blanking out. I'm so sorry.
TAF, thank you for the $5 super chat. Hey, Doug, will you review a Stephen King movie in the next Nostalgia Critic episode next Wednesday?
Nope. Taking a break for a little bit. I do talk about it. Why I do. And it's not that one. The video after that is the one where I explain that.
King Elijah, thank you for the $5 super chat. Been a fan since a teenager. Now, how you feel about Ridley Scott, know how you feel about Ridley Scott, but I've never heard your thoughts on Blade Runner. It's my personal favorite film.
I get that. I get why people love it. It was interesting when the sequel came out because suddenly this like small group of people are coming out. It's like, I didn't like the first one. It's like, what? Me too. I thought I was alone. Suddenly people could come out of the dark with it. I don't dislike it. I don't get into it though. I do find it a little boring, but I do. it is good. I acknowledge it as a good movie. It is well made. It's smart. Uh, I like when it's left a little bit more open. What the truth is, and it's good acting and everything. But yeah, it's not. Weirdly, it's one of those that doesn't grab me because I do like film noir movies. I like ones like that are set in the future and play with the idea of machines and humans and everything. But something about it just doesn't grab me. I don't know. It's surprisingly too cold. It needed a little
Hmm.
bit more humanity to it. I think that's what's missing. And you can do a cold movie, like Kubrick was very good at doing cold movies, but something about that one just didn't quite. For a film talking about the difference between robots and humans, they should have made the humans a little bit more human.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Would you consider reviewing the 2012 film Ted with Mark Wahlberg and Seth MacFarlane? I think you'd actually find it pretty funny.
I remember being all right. I remember everyone was saying like, "Oh, that's got to be terrible." I'm like, I don't know. I think it could be okay, and that's what I got. I got an okay movie. I don't think I have much to say about it outside of that. It's just decent comedy.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Fun fact about Paranorman, the reason why Selma wasn't a main character is because it was part of a joke. The directors thought if you took the Scooby-Doo characters and put them in real life, they wouldn't invite Velma along and would just call her if they needed information. That's
Well,
pretty
nowadays
funny.
definitely. But yeah, no, I didn't know that. That's really funny.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. I really hated in Batman and Robin how they wasted Poison Ivy. She and Batman were supposed to have a love story, but instead they had her hit on Arnold's Mr. Freeze.
And Robin, technically, which the more I think about it, I mean, how old? I mean, we know the actor was like in his 20s, but how old is that kid supposed to be in the movie? They keep calling him boy and everything. So, I mean, maybe it's supposed to still be in his teens. I don't know.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. During the pandemic, I watched Back to the Future so many times, and apparently they made a censored version of Part 2 that they put on Netflix that upset fans to the point where they restored it to the original.
Why on Netflix? That's weird.
Right? That is so
I mean,
weird.
if you grew up with cable TV, I mean, you're used to seeing that all the time. But streaming and Netflix, that's bizarre.
That is. JL, thank you for the 500 bits. I watched the 2016 Jungle Book a lot during the lockdown days because till I was sick of it, I have given up hopes of a sequel to it. Might just be better for Disney to reboot it again and actually follow the cartoon version.
They're talking about the live action one, I'm assuming.
The 2016 Jungle Book.
2016. Okay. Yeah, I didn't get into it, but I know a lot of people did. I don't think it's because I'm a big fan of the book, though I am, because I do like the original animated one. That's very, very different. Yeah, I don't know. I just did not have much connection to that film at all. I was really shocked it got that so many people enjoyed it, honestly.
Sean, thank you for the $5 super chat. Heather, with the top 5 movie kisses, how dare you, Walter and Ayana, not include or mention The Quiet Man or Vertigo? Shame on you all. I haven't seen either of those. I'm sorry.
Quiet Man, I'd have to watch again. I don't remember it particularly. Maybe I just haven't seen it in a while. Vertigo, I can see because that's the one, the cliche where the couple kisses and a giant wave crashes against a rock.
Mhm.
Like it's that they have. That.
Okay. Okay, got it. Yeah, I just haven't seen either of those, so that's why they weren't on my list.
Vertigo's great. Vertigo really is like one of the
Okay.
great movies. That's worth checking out.
All right. Retro, thank you for becoming a member over on YouTube. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Do you actually like all Don Bluth's movies, despite some of your old, angry, negative reviews of things like Rockadoodle? He's your favorite animation director.
Is he my favorite? See, that's something where I really have to look at other animation director because it's one of those things where I like animation. I know some directors, but I'm not gonna pretend I'm that big like an aficionado. Like if you were to tell me like Across the Spider-Verse, it's like one of my new favorite movies. Who directed it? I couldn't tell you. But it's like one of my favorite movies. I'm just not great at following animation names always. When it comes to the actual directors and animators. But I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Is he like he's directed some of my favorite movies that leave some of the biggest impacts on me. So at the very least, he's up there. If he's not my favorite.
Movie Mike, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you seen the Muppets Celebrate Jim Henson special? If you have, what do you think of the song Just One Person?
Oh, that's a wonderful song. It's a wonderful special. If anyone hasn't seen it, I mean, you should watch the special on its own. But Defunctland did a very good. I think it was a few parts just talk about the life of Jim Henson, and I think the final episode he uses that special as a reference, kind of like the bookend. Like starts off how the special begins, and then he talks about Jim Henson. Then he says a little bit more about the special, and he talks more about Jim Henson, and it's very, very well done. So I recommend seeing the special on your own, and then watching his biography on Jim Henson. 'Cause just the whole thing is very nicely put together.
And Gin and Tonic, thank you for the 10-pound super chat. Is there any movie you've always wanted to review but never had an opportunity to do yet slash at all?
Uh, like I said, there's some experimental ones I've wanted to try. And I think the fatigue got in the way, but also I just haven't figured out how to do them yet. But I know there's a way. I don't know. I might just come down to just doing like an editorial review of them. I don't know, but I'd like to do something a little different for them. Like I said, Ed Wood, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and Fight Club are like the three I'd really like to try to do something different with. But yeah, they might just be straightforward reviews too. I don't know.
Well, and of course, Greatest Showman too.
Of course, obviously.
Retro, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you know who the old actor Naheim Persoff was and that he played Papa Mouskowitz?
Maybe hold on, because I think when I reviewed the movie,
I definitely
I
said the name wrong. It's Nehemiah.
um let me see. I feel like when I was looking him up, it rang a bell. Okay, so there's something like I remember him in Twins. I remember him in Some Like It Hot. I feel like there's one other like obvious one I'm missing, but I can't remember. But yeah, I kind of know who he is. I'm definitely not an expert. I'm sure he has a lot. We even look at his IMDb. He has this very long career, but I'm definitely not an expert on the guy, on the actor.
Sean, thank you for the $10 super chat. Heather, what are your favorite comedies? Mine's are Planes, Trains, Automobiles, Blues Brothers, Blazing Saddles, Step Brothers, Airplane, Simpsons Movie, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Naked Gun, Talladega Nights. Man, you have some good ones in there. Blues Brothers is fantastic. So is
Yeah.
Blazing Saddles. I might include Spaceballs too. I'm a sucker for Spaceballs. I love Mean Girls. I know it's not the greatest movie ever, but I could watch Mean Girls every day, all day, anytime. But yeah, no, I think that's it. Yeah, we'll go with those.
Okay. Good list.
Internetube, thank you for the $5 super chat. What was your take on Ghostbusters Frozen Empire?
I still haven't seen it. I have it on the queue to watch at some point, but I haven't gotten around to it.
Barry, thank you for the £2 super chat. Alexander, thank you for the 500 bits. What are your thoughts on the film Crimson Peak?
I I always hate saying this because I feel like people say it a lot. I like it until the end, and the ending's not awful, but everything else before it is just so good that it is a little bit of a letdown. Just like, this could have been, like one of the great movies, one of the great horror movies. And instead, it's like, it's good.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of the South Park episode when Randy buys a Blockbuster on Halloween and the boys go trick-or-treating and Stan has to use an iPad to go trick-or-treating?
I don't know if I saw that one. Yeah, it's not ringing a bell. I haven't watched South Park in a while. I've seen some of the specials, but I haven't like really sat down and watched the show proper in a long time. Not that it's bad. Again, I'm busy with our stuff. So, no, I haven't seen that. I'm so sorry. Sounds funny.
Tundra Cat, thank you for the $10 super chat. Have you ever thought of doing a review of the Stargate movie and talking about the success of the TV franchise?
Yeah. So I haven't seen the TV show, but I know it's very popular. I hear it's better than the movie. I was almost thinking about just starting, like a sort of a sub series called "Was I Wrong About?" Because that's one of those where it's like I think I made a big deal about like really hating the movie Independence Day, and it's like I don't remember hating it. I just remember it being kind of a little bit of a letdown. But that might be one of those where for just kind of a generic adventure, I'm sure it's fine. Just movies I kind of want to revisit again and be like, was I too harsh on it? So I probably will.
Captain Wolf, thank you for the 500 bits. Hey, Doug, hope you're feeling better. I just want to say two things. One, have you considered the Sea of Thieves, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Monkey Island crossovers, which are amazing? And have you watched Transformers 1? It is literally one of the best Transformers media for a long time. It's really good.
Not yet, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to see it on a big screen. I'll still do my best, but I think I'm gonna be too busy. And somebody else recommended that game you were talking about, so we'll try to look into it.
Sean, thank you for the $10 super chat. Heather, thoughts on La La Land and Singing in the Rain? Not a big fan of musicals, but I love those. The former is a great
Huh.
tribute to old school Hollywood, while the latter has a terrific story and score. I finally watched La La Land like a year ago. Thank goodness. It
Mm,
took me long enough, and I did
mm,
really enjoy it. It was a nice love letter to some of those old Hollywood musicals, so I really enjoyed it. I'm not the biggest fan of the movie Singing in the Rain. I've seen it on
mm.
stage a couple of times and really enjoyed it. I mean, it's fine. It's good, but it's not my favorite musical. I respect it, but I don't love it, if that makes sense.
I'm in the same boat. Again, it's funny for someone that doesn't get into musicals. Those are interesting ones to get into because those are the ones people usually point to as I don't like musicals. I don't like La La Land and Singing in the Rain. So it's interesting that person liked those too.
King Croker, thank you for the 500 bits. Since experiencing exhaustion, how has your work and writing style evolved? Have you found yourself approaching projects differently? And if so, how has this impacted your creative process and connection with your audience? Additionally, you've mentioned finding AI therapeutic with image generation. Have you used tools like ChatGPT or expand your use of AI since? I enjoy using it recreationally.
I like that recreationally. I do still use it. I don't use it quite as much because I think the fatigue is finally starting to lighten up a bit. And again, I think really laying off the sugar has really played a big part. I mean, there's other things too. There's plenty of other triggers, but I think it's finding all those triggers and combining them, and not doing them. Yeah, I do sadly have to look at a project a little differently. They have to be easier. They have to be lighter. Also, we're still shooting, at home and everything. But again, hopefully we'll be in a studio soon. Yeah, I definitely had to change a lot, and even just getting older because I'm still doing everything. I got to change stuff up. But then you have to adapt. You have to adapt in different ways and see, how you can get across a certain point without having to rely on your old tricks, which is kind of fun. So I don't know. It's not as bad as you would think.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Have you ever watched the American Tail Wild West series? It's on Peacock, but we never got a physical release of that.
No, a friend of mine was telling me about it though. And he's a YouTuber. We were talking about maybe doing like a crossover with it or something. So we'll see. Finding time to watch it is going to be tricky though.
Will, thank you for the $5 super chat. Real thoughts on Owen Wilson. He can be hit or miss, but I think he was great in Wedding Crashers and Royal Tannenbaums. The latter, he actually co wrote.
I remember hating him at first. Everything about it, the voice, the squinty eyes, the lips, I didn't think he was funny. Any of that. I think part of it is he was in The Haunting, a remake of one of my favorite all-time movies, and I just what is he doing in this movie? So I think I had this diehard hate, and then I lightened up, and I'm like, he's fine. He can be pretty funny.
Retro, thank you for the $5 super chat. Do you actually like all Don Bluth movies as he is your favorite animation director?
Oh no. I've made fun of a lot of his movies. Honestly, I think he has too. Honestly, but no, but I enjoy a great deal of his stuff. The stuff that's good is like some of my favorite animation, like ever animated films.
The Wessonator, thank you for the $5 super chat. With Bat May over and Twilight Tober Zone coming to a close, are there any plans for any other TV show themed months?
Walter has something else planned. Again, it depends on when we get the studio going here. He does want to shoot something else that's connected to Twilight Tober Zone. So it's definitely going to be a little bit more of that. Hopefully, it's this year. But if not, it sounds like he's really interested in it. So you'll see more of something there.
And Gin and Tonic, thank you for the £10 super chat. Are we going to get more sibling rivalry slash first viewings? Because I miss seeing Rob and his beautiful scowl.
First viewings probably not unless it's something that's like really, really like, man, we know the reactions are going to be big, like Madam Web or something like that. Because the numbers just aren't there. They don't do that well anymore. Maybe sibling rivalry if it's like, again, if it's something where it's like, yeah, we've talked about maybe like finding some way to expand, us talking together in something. Like, I don't know if we do like a podcast or a video series or something, but again, it is kind of a time thing. And we are getting older, so we don't have the energy we used to, but we like to because we do ramble a lot, and people like to hear us ramble.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. The first Miyazaki film I watched during the lockdown was the film Before the Cat Returns because I never saw it, and then I watched The Spirited Away and The Cat Returns to the point where I was sick of it.
Yeah, Whispers of the Heart is the film you're thinking of. It's very, very good. That's a very, very good movie. For those who haven't checked it out, it's not talked about as much as the other Miyazaki films or Ghibli films, I should say.
Blue Francis, thank you for the 250. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what that symbol is. I'm sorry.
Thank you for the monies.
Yeah, thank you for it. I am but a naive and dumb American. I'm sorry. Any chance you'll do a video with James Rolfe again?
I'm sure we will at some point. We've done so many in the past that I kind of feel like it has to be something where one of us is like, ooh, like we got to do this. We both have a real passion to do it because we've just done so many. But, we still chat. We still keep in touch and everything.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. I got to chat with Don Bluth and asked him about the girl who played Anne Marie's character.
Yeah, if you've ever read his biography, it's very good, his autobiography. And he does talk about her a little bit. It's just still, I mean, sound like a wonderful kid, and yeah, just such a sad story.
Yeah. All right, and that's it. We got some
Oh,
time.
good. We got time.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, man, we got a lot of time.
Question.
That's nice.
Well, we got 5 minutes.
Okay.
Cartoon Dictator on Twitch asks, have you checked out the YouTube channel Sunnyland Productions?
Sounds familiar. Let me see real fast. Was it Sunnyland?
Sunnyland Productions. Yeah, I think they've asked about it before.
Sunnyland Productions. Let's see. Maybe not. I guess not. I'll check them out.
Anton over on YouTube asks, what I would very much like to know if you've seen The Amazing Digital Circus.
Just the first episode. It's fine. It's just not my thing. I thought about the same thing with the murder drones. I think it's the same person who did that. Totally fine. It just doesn't grab me. I get why it grabs other people. I get why people really, really get into it. But yeah, it's just not my thing.
Barry, thank you for the £2 super chat. Have you ever been to the UK before?
Oh yeah, several times. I don't know. My wife didn't get into it too much, but man, if I had to live anywhere outside the US, I live in Scotland. I loved it there. I really felt home there, bizarrely, and I don't know why. Man, maybe I'm Scottish. I don't know it. Yeah.
Ramirez over on Twitch asks, if you both were in a horror movie, what kind of character would you be? The main character who investigates the situation or the side character who bails the heck out? And Doug, what were you going... Oh, no, sorry. Just do the first part.
Definitely the one who, I'd be shaking the zoinks, guys. Let's get out of here.
I feel like if it's an option, I would kind of be the smart one who stays behind and runs the tech. Like I'd try to.
I was gonna say you'd be the tech person, yeah.
Right, who's like figuring out, like smashing together an old computer with like a radio and then give it to you and are like, this is the perfect sound frequency for all the zombies. They won't be able.
Wait a minute, what am I talking about? I'd be the ghost. Look at me, I look like Casper with a beard.
I love that. Well, I hate that for you. I'm sorry.
I'm used to it.
ADHD over on YouTube asks, could you review the Maximum Ride movie?
Maximum Ride? I don't know that one. I'll look into it.
Okay. Leprechaun fan, thank you for the $5 super chat. I believe that the Twist and Sleepaway Camp walked so that the one in Crying Game could run.
Maybe. Yeah, how far? Yeah, those are actually pretty far apart, aren't they? Yeah, maybe.
Barry, thank you for the £2 super chat. Did you ever like the movie Fight Club?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I loved it. I was obsessed with it growing up. It used to be one of my favorite movies. I still really, really like it a great deal. Like I said, one of these days I'll do a video on it.
JL, thank you for the 500 bits. Last question for tonight. They're still doing spin-offs to Big Bang Theory. The newest one looks horrible because it brings the laugh track back. And just by the looks of the story, it looks like it's going to be horrible.
I didn't even know they're doing a spinoff. I haven't seen the original show that much, so yeah, I'm not the one to talk to about, sadly.
Sean49 Doctor over on Twitch says, "Hey Doug, when you're looking up material for Nostalgia Ween, have you ever come across the series Forever Night? It's about an 800-year-old vampire living as a cop in the early 90s trying to break the blood habit and repay society for his past sins." There's a DVD release.
I love it with past sins. It's DVD release. My aunt actually really got into that show. She kept talking about it. I never had a chance to see it. Maybe I should.
Master Fallful over on YouTube asks, "So Doug, have you ever seen Once Upon a Time? It's my favorite live action series."
No, but hearing Rob talk, and maybe Heather, you've talked about it a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit too,
oh
right?
yeah. Once Upon a Time is great. Great.
I do want to check it out, even though I know it gets really bad.
Oh, it gets so bad.
But from what I've heard, it's kind of a fun kind of bad, like just so crazy insane. But from what Rob's been telling, especially the Peter Pan one, where he's kind of like a kidnapper and he's kind of a psycho, that sounded pretty funny to me and kind of interesting.
That Canadian fangirl over on Twitch says, "Disney-cember for Wizards of Waverly Place? With the new sequel series coming out this month, now might be a good time."
Maybe. So not this year. I got all the stuff watched for this year, but maybe next year.
Sorry, I'm looking at the YouTube chat to find a question
good.
here. Frankfurt on YouTube says, "Maybe a review on the third Mummy movie. You did somewhat ask us if you should."
Oh, did I? Okay, maybe I will. Is anybody interested? I don't know. I was like, kind of on it. I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it either. I don't know. I might be an idea.
Krusty Krabby, thank you for the $5 super chat. "What are your opinions on Jeepers Creepers and other slasher flicks? Also, what horror film is your favorite to mock for a laugh?"
Can I say Sleepaway Camp? I mean, I do
Why
legit
not?
like it, but yeah, it's also very fun to laugh at. Also like the Evil Dead movies, Army of Darkness, they're pretty fun. I've never seen Jeepers Creepers. If you watch the Sleepaway Camp, you know I'm not the biggest into slashers, but if they do something really different, I do get into it. Maybe Jeepers Creepers is, because I heard it's not that bad.
This will have to be the last one here. J Lord, thank you for the $5 super chat. "Will you review any obscure films? Start with Helen of Troy 2003, Death Striker, and Cartoon Conan the Adventurer."
Boy, yeah, I don't know any of those. I'll try to look into them.
All right, cool, great. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us here
Thank you.
today. As usual, we super appreciate it. On Twitch, we do have content 5 days a week, so come join us over there. Malcolm's going to be live on Twitch tomorrow, and Doug will be back on both Twitch and YouTube on Friday, continuing more of Epic Mickey Rebrushed, so do come hang out for that. On the Twitch side of things, we are going to send you over to Tamara Chambers, because we don't hate her and we don't have drama with her. No.
Tiny Tam's cane over there.
Oh, Tamara's not streaming. Oh.
I just saw somebody put like Tamara's down. At first, I thought they meant like Tamara is down. Like
Tamara's not
no,
streaming.
She's literally down. She's not streaming.
Yeah, just kidding. All right, never mind. Well,
I love it. Just the raid has been canceled. I just love seeing that.
Yeah. It's
That's
my
so
bad.
sad.
That's my bad. Christian, thank you for the $2 super chat. Appreciate that. But we got to wrap things up here. But yeah, have a wonderful evening, everyone. And we will see you all later.
Bye-bye. Goodbye.